Okay, in this lesson we're going to look at compound inequalities. So just a little bit of review here. We have linear inequalities in one variable look like this. So we have the difference between this and an equation is we have an inequality, right? We're using inequality signs. And then we're going to be reviewing our interval notation and set builder notation and how that looks on the graph. So let's go ahead and look at a few examples here. If we want to express the given inequalities in an interval and set builder notation, we can look at the graph here and we can tell, well, down here we have negative infinity, and going to the right we have positive infinity. So down here might be the number 0. And what would be actually this inequality? Can anyone tell me the inequality that would be? Well, x could be anything less than 2.5. X is less than 2.5. Why wouldn't I use less than or equal to? Yeah, because of the parenthesis, that's a similar concept as an open circle, right? You could also use an open circle here. So the interval would start, we always want to go from start to finish. It starts at negative infinity, it goes up to 2.5, and we're not including that number, and that's why we put the parenthesis around it. For the set builder notation, we're going to say x, you can have any value you want, x, such that vertical line means such that x is less than 2.5, and we're using the set notation, and we use the set braces for that. And this is set builder notation because we have an infinite set of numbers. There's how many numbers exist that are less than 2.5? An infinite number. For here, we would have the interval starts at negative 3.4 and it's going up to positive infinity. And the set builder notation would be x such that x is what? Anyone know? Exactly. Greater than or equal to negative 3.4. Okay, and we're going to close that set notation. Okay, so solving inequalities works exactly like solving equations. Does anybody know the one exception? Well, if you divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. So when we divide both sides by negative 2, that's where we get x is greater than negative 3. Because they're flipping the inequality whenever you divide by a negative. Okay, so let's just recall how we would solve this inequality, and then we're going to display our answers using the inequality, the interval, set builder notation, and then on the graph. So what would you want to do in order to get x by itself in example 2? Yeah, you could subtract 6 from both sides, and would we need to flip the inequality if I'm subtracting 6 from both sides? So I get x is greater than or equal to 7x minus 9. And what should I do next? I want to get all my x's onto one side, so I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. I get negative 6x is greater than or equal to negative 9. What should I do next? Divide by negative 6. So I'm going to do that on both sides. Now, when I divide both sides by negative 6, I have to flip this inequality to the opposite direction. So I cross it out and I show that I'm flipping it, and I get x is less than or equal to, can you reduce negative 9 divided by negative 6? Negative 9, negative 6? That would reduce down to 3/2, right? Negative divided by negative is a positive. So we have x is less than or equal to 3/2. Our interval will be, actually, if you graph it first, it might be a little bit easier to come up with the interval. Because here would be 0, 1, 2, 3, Maybe down here, -1, -2, -3. 3 halves is the same thing as, 1.5. 1.5, so we have 3 halves here. And then we're less than or equal to, so I'm going to shade below the line, or below that number. And you can fill in the arrow, so showing that it's going down. Then that becomes a little bit easier to see the interval. So what would the interval be? From starts at -infinity up to 3 halves. And what should I do around the 3 halves? Bracket, because the number is included. And then our set builder notation, we just take the inequality and we're going to put it in to the set builder x such that x is less than or equal to 3 halves. Now on WebWork, you have on your keyboard, if you go Shift, right above the enter sign, there is this symbol. So you don't want to use an I, it will mark it incorrect. So you see there's a /. So if you do the Shift / right above the enter sign, you'll be able to get that vertical line for the such that. Okay? Okay, go ahead and try the next problem.